Okay. Hi, I'm Vicky from Spellbound, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do even count peyote stitch. So in the video today I'm going to be showing you how to do basic even count peyote stitch. This is a really super useful stitch that you can use in lots of different ways. We've got lots of freebies on the website that you can use with it. This is the Summer Lawn bracelet, which is one of our garden party projects. This was designed by Julie, and so this is a brilliant one. Little bead and loop fastening, just ever so simple, ever so pretty, and once you've learned the basics you can make that in an evening. Once you've done the basics you can move on and make something using tubular peyote stitch, which is this one, like this little needle case that we have here. This is the peacock feather needle case. We've got lots of designs on the website if you want to have a look and see if there's anything there that strikes your fancy. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to do even count peyote stitch like we've got in the sample that's on the mat here. I'm working with Delica beads, which are great for this sort of stitch because they lock together really nicely and make it easier for you to do the work. As always, the first couple of rows are a little bit fiddly, but once we've got something to hold on to we'll whiz along really quickly. So we're going to start by picking up 10 beads, which is equivalent to the first 2 rows of your pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm picking up alternating colours so that you can see what I'm doing. It will make it easier for us to pick up the next row just while we're learning what we're doing. Okay, so slide them all the way down. I have put a keeper bead on the end of the thread, which is useful for the first couple of rows because it means you've not got to worry about beads sliding off the end. Because Delica beads have got quite large holes, they can slide over a slip knot if you just usually tie a slip knot in the end of your thread. Okay, so there's the last bead we've just threaded. What we're going to do now is we're going to pick up another bead of the same colour and we're going to go back through the orange bead, and that will pull the 2 green beads up next to one another, so you've got a little T shape on the end. So then we pick up another green bead, skip the next green and go through the orange. Oops. Keep it nice and snug, you want the beads sitting next to one another, and again miss the green through the orange. Miss the green through the orange, and one final time, miss the green and through the orange. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a kink there, so I just need to encourage the beads to sit next to one another, and there you've got the first 3 rows of peyote stitch. So you can see that we've got the spaces and the keyholes. So your space is where your next row of beads is going to go, and the keyhole is the bead your thread is going to go through. So the next row we're going to put in is another row of orange. So we're going to pick up an orange and we're going to go through that green that's sticking out. And again, pick up an orange and go through the green. Pick up an orange and through the green. Pick up an orange and through the green. Don't be lazy, pull your thread all the way through so that way you won't get a knot. And through the orange. Whoops. And there you have your first 4 rows of peyote. So to count peyote, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. You count the rows along the beads along the edge of these first 2 rows here, because the rows are, the start of the row are offset on each one. So you need to count 1, 2, 3, 4 for that row there. So as you can see here, we're getting nice stripes that will run along the length of the work. If you want stripes that run across the width of the work, like we've got in this sample here, what you'll need to do is pick up, let's start with the white bead so we can see the contrast. So you pick up a row of white beads going all the way across. Oh, I've gone through 2 there. So we just need to back the needle out there. This is the problem with the peyote beads, because they're such a nice fit. It's easy to skip across where you don't want to. If you're having to undo more than 1 bead, it's always better to take the needle off the end of the thread and pull it all the way back out, because that way you're not going to risk catching your needle on any threads inside the beads. Okay, so there's our first row of white, which is sort of made half a stripe. And now what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll add the white beads into the spaces. And then you end up with a solid row. And I'll get to the end and I'll show you properly. Oops. Oh, see, now that's me being naughty again. Let's undo this. And we've just got the thread caught, so the beads aren't going to sit properly. So undo that. Rethread your needle. Pick up your bead and try again. And there you can see, putting in 2 rows of the same colour gives you a edge-to-edge stripe as opposed to an end-to-end stripe. Okay, so next row, let's use the blue and put a stripe in there. So again, you've got your gap for your bead in through the next one. Pull it through. Another thing that's worth noting is, because I'm using transparent beads for this demonstration, the colour of the thread will actually affect the colour of the bead that you see. I'm using a white thread, so it's helping to keep the colour of the beads quite bright and transparent. If I'd used a black thread, it'd look much darker, and the white beads would actually also look slightly grey. I could use a different colour. If I'd use something like red, then you'd end up with like a little red stripe through the middle of the beads. So it's something to bear in mind when you start designing your own projects, which you can do if you go onto our website, onto the techniques page. You'll find some free peyote design grids there that you can download, get your colouring pencils out and have a go and design your own bracelet. We'd love to see what you do. Make sure you send us some photos. And here we go, last row. And there you have it. Horizontal and vertical stripes in even count peyote.